Please rise and remain standing for the arrival of the official party, the U.S. National Anthem, the Invocation, and posting of the colors.
Captain, United States Navy, arriving. Ronald Reagan, arriving. Battle Force, 7th Fleet, arriving.
Color Guard, parade the colors.
Color Guard, attention! Right, right! Forward, what? March on! March! Color Guard, halt! Present, arms!
Ladies and gentlemen, LSSN Brittany McKellen will sing the U.S. National Anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Color Guard, retire the colors.
Carry, out! Right, right! Forward, what?
Chaplain Bowden will now offer the invocation.
Let us pray. Eternal God, who alone spreads out the heavens and rules the raging of the sea, who has compassed the waters with bounds, we come to you in praise and thanksgiving for this day. We pray for all the men and women of the USS Ronald Reagan, Unite them as one in spirit of commitment and camaraderie. Grant them courage to meet every challenge with opportunity. Encourage their honorable actions in keeping with the highest traditions of the Navy. Deliver them safely through the calm seas or the storms with certainty of your presence. We recognize the dedication and leadership of Captain Michael Buzz Donnelly. We remember the words of our ship's namesake. The greatest leader is not necessarily the one who does the greatest things. He is the one that gets the people to do the greatest things. We are thankful for the great things he did for this ship, as well as his leadership inspiring the greatest things from his crew. Go with him as he, Caroline, and his family transition to new adventures. Bless their direction and journey. Also be with Captain Pat Finn Hannifin as he assumes command of this mighty warship. Grant him wisdom for his leadership as he executes the mission and blazes new trails. Give him strength and compassion to accompany his integrity, and bless his wife Grace and family with joy and blessings in abundance. Be with us now as we recognize this time-honored tradition and celebrate a job well done. We humbly pray, Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, it now gives me great pleasure to introduce Captain Buzz Donnelly, USS Ronald Reagan's commanding officer.
Good morning, crew, guests. Thanks for taking the time to come here today. And first of all, I'd like to thank the Air Department, Supply Department, CMC and XO, everybody who had a hand, media, in putting together today's ceremony. Outstanding job. The hangar bay looks excellent from the bay itself to the aircraft. Thank you for everything you've done. And well, I find it, and it probably is a little inappropriate to be applauding the national anthem during the national anthem. I will tell you we can certainly do that now. And Seaman McClellan, that was outstanding. So. Fantastic job. It's my distinct pleasure to introduce my boss. And to have a boss that has been your job has great opportunity to be mentored and great challenges. To have a boss that has done your job twice has even more challenges. So I look and I'm like, holy cow, he's from Virginia. I was born in Virginia. I went to Villanova and he surely wanted to go to Villanova. He's been a navigator of 2 L-class large ships. He's been XO twice, including XO of GW when she transitioned to FD&F. He was the CO of an aircraft carrier twice, including one in RCOH and one on extended deployment. CO of E2C squadron, and he has a resume of outstanding deployments and exercises and operations. He's participated in that job. And his shore jobs are no less impressive. So my first thought was, holy cow, this is amazing. A guy who's done all this twice, he just cannot get it right. But it's really been a distinct honor to work with Admiral Thomas. Your resume is just a small touch of the wisdom, expertise, and experience you bring to the job. And it's my privilege to introduce him this morning. Battle Force 7th Fleet, Admiral Carl Thomas.
Good morning, and what a great morning it is. Thanks, Buzz, for that introduction. XO, thanks for putting together this morning's ceremony. I know all too well how difficult it is to put together a carrier change of command ceremony, especially when you have a full day of operations following it. I'd like to thank the side boys, the color guard. I too would like to thank Seaman Brittany McKellen for singing the national anthem. It was a powerful national anthem. Yellow shirts, blue shirts, everybody had to clean out a hangar bay of aircraft, especially with 2 CODs on board. I know that takes some effort. And I'd also like to thank all the other sailors that played a hand in putting today's ceremony together. You know, holding a change of command ceremony at sea has a special feeling to it. It's a gorgeous day out behind us, a little bit humid off the coast of Guam. Nice day right now, obviously a typhoon on the way, which adds a little challenge to our schedule, but it really doesn't get any better than this, except for one thing, and unfortunately we don't get to publicly and personally recognize the families of these two great leaders. We don't get to recognize them today, at least in person, as they so rightly deserve. I know that both Caroline, Captain Donnelly's wife, and Grace, Captain Hannifin's wife, would love nothing more than to be in the audience today, as they have every right to be very proud of their husbands. We're very proud of Caroline and Grace as well. Thankful for all that they do for the families of this great warship and all the Navy families that they've touched throughout their husbands' distinguished careers. Caroline and Grace, as you once again hold down the fort on the home front, let me take this opportunity to publicly thank you for all that you have done to support Buzz and Finn to get to this remarkable point in their careers. It's a long and arduous road, and the nuclear power program takes a very supportive family. Thank you for being that support so that they could put their focus on leading this fantastic crew. Your many sacrifices at home, not only helping others, but guiding Elizabeth, Sarah, Mary Logan, and Maggie, who are Buzz's children, and Justin, Sean, and Kelsey, who are Captain Hannifin's children, allows both Buzz and Finn to live out their passion every single day. Please join me in a round of applause, not only for Captain Donnelly and Captain Hannifin's families, but for all the families that take care of business back home to support this entire team. Ten years ago, Captain Donnelly headed off to nuclear power school following a successful command tour with the Black Knights. I'm pretty confident that he had some trepidation about what nuclear power school would entail, like we all did at that point. If he says he didn't, he's not telling you the truth. He knew that he was embarking on a difficult but rewarding journey, a 10-year journey of U.S. Navy investment in him and his leadership, so that he could guide our nation's, actually the world's, most powerful warship. He had no idea that at that point that he would end up leading our only forward deployed aircraft carrier. It was probably likely the farthest thing from his mind. But here he is, after 30 months of challenging ups and downs, 4 deployments, 2 operational reactor safeguards examinations with exceptional results, difficult people problems that nobody in their right mind can dream up, problems that he's been faced with and solved each and every time. Challenges like typhoon sorties, or port calls that he planned and then were overcome by other events that he had to then explain to the crew. Buzz has attacked these challenges with an upbeat demeanor that inspires confidence, not only in his crew, but in his peers. The team has won countless awards, adapted to changing real-world tensions, and answered every call. Buzz, you have every right to be proud of your many accomplishments and this team's performance. The commanding officer of an aircraft carrier is kind of like the mayor of a city. The city takes on the persona of the mayor. The mayor is responsible for all things good and bad that happen within the city. The mayor speaks at town hall meetings. He keeps the city informed through public address. He guides the city's department heads. He determines priorities. The buck stops with him. He has the ultimate responsibility and accountability. The only difference is that Buzz's city has 2 nuclear power plants and a very busy and congested airport, and it moves throughout the world to keep the peace. I've truly enjoyed listening to and working with Captain Donnelly these past 2 months. He's a fantastic mayor and a confident commanding officer. He does a wonderful job putting his citizens, you the crew, first. Buzz, like any captain, I'm sure you're most proud of your magnificent crew. All of your success would not have been possible without a well-trained and motivated crew. I know you worked tirelessly to achieve a team of winners. It was apparent to me the moment I walked aboard your ship. They're a combat-ready crew. In fact, there's no more combat-ready aircraft carrier in the fleet. There certainly is no other carrier that operates year in and year out in the East China Sea, the South China Sea, operating amongst very capable Chinese naval vessels. You've grown the relationship with our partners and our allies. You've deterred aggressive regimes by operating in their backyard. You've protected the most vital of the world's maritime sea lanes and created a combat-ready team to defeat our enemies and do our nation's bidding if called. You've done it all, my friend, and you've done it superbly. Buzz is an amazing and experienced leader, and I'm confident that the Navy is not done exploiting his many talents. We'll just have to wait a little longer to find out in a few more months. So China, North Korea, Iran, Russia, Syria, Yemen, violent extremism. You can't pick up a newspaper or hit a news site without noticing the breadth of the security challenges that we face as a nation. And our environment's not getting any easier. In fact, we face a more diverse set of challenges than in any time in history. Times like this demand another great leader. And there's no more experienced, no better tested, and no more polished an officer than Captain Pat Hannifin. Finn, you bring an extensive background of aviation and surface experience, including a tour out here in FD&F with the Royal Maces. I know you will build on the Ronald Reagan legacy and take this team to even greater heights. Heights that will be needed to meet these security challenges head on. You're the right leader at the right time, at the right place. And it's an honor to have you and Grace part of our team. Crew of the Ronald Reagan, let me address you just for 1 minute. So what's this ceremony all about? Is it about recognizing the leadership and the contribution of our outgoing CO, Captain Donnelly, and his many accomplishments? Absolutely. Is it about recognizing the talent and the skill set of the incoming CO, Captain Hannifin? You bet. But there's more. Crew of the Ronald Reagan, make no mistake. This ceremony is and has always been about you. Traditions we enforce this morning ensure that you know exactly when the tremendous accountability, responsibility, and authority of command passes from one commanding officer to another. This carrier was built to deliver relevant, flexible combat power to our nation's leadership to meet the security challenges we just discussed. Crew, I know that you're America's finest. You're mission-focused, you're driven by a higher calling, and I'm supremely confident that you will respond to your new commanding officer, Captain Hannifin, in the same way that you responded to Captain Donnelly. I've served in the Navy for more than 30 years, and I'm sure if I asked Captain Donnelly and Captain Hannifin why they continue to serve, they'd have the same answer. Every day, we wake up and get a chance to work with the finest people this nation can produce, the sailors assembled here. Not for prestige or for power, but because it provides something rarely found in any other profession. The unique opportunity to work alongside the finest corps of professionals America has to offer, the sons and daughters of our country's citizens, who freely give up some of their most vital years to serve their country, to serve and protect our nation's ideals. We serve alongside sailors that view service to their country not as a duty, but as a privilege. The namesake of this great ship, Ronald Reagan, is famously quoted as saying, "The future doesn't belong to the faint-hearted, it belongs to the brave." I trust the might and highly capable forward presence of this warship and team will keep us from having to prove our bravery. But if not, I know there are a few amongst us that have a faint heart. I'm proud of every single one of you. Buzz, will you please join me at the podium?
Ladies and gentlemen, Rear Admiral Thomas, Battle Force 7th Fleet, will now present Captain Donnelly with the Legion of Merit. Attention to award. The President of the United States has awarded the Legion of Merit, Gold Star in lieu of second award, to Captain Michael P. Donnelly, United States Navy, for service as set forth in the following citation. For exceptionally meritorious conduct in the performance of outstanding service as a commanding officer of USS Ronald Reagan from April 2016 to September 2018. Displaying steadfast leadership and rare initiative, Captain Donnelly led more than 3,100 sailors to unmatched operational readiness. Under his superior guidance, USS Ronald Reagan earned the 2016 Secretary of Defense Award for Maintenance Excellence, as well as numerous other departmental awards, to include the 2016 Edward F. Ney Award. In spite of a demanding operational tempo as the Navy's only forward deployed aircraft carrier, his ability to balance maintenance, operations, and training led to an above-average performance marks on back-to-back propulsion evaluations, as well as an above-average fleet score on the 2016 Board of inspection and survey material inspection while participating in critical multinational exercises to include Valiant Shield, Talisman Sabre, MC Sofx, Annual X, Malabar, and Pandera Wave. His leadership of 3 selected restricted availabilities enabled the USS Ronald Reagan to safely steam over 75,000 nautical miles, complete over 18,000 mishap-free launches and recoveries, over 50 replenishments at sea, including 3 major weapons onloads and 2 offloads, all with 0 incidents. Through his extraordinary leadership, he established the highest operational readiness standards, ensuring Reagan's warfighting capability for future generations. By his dynamic direction, keen judgment, and loyal devotion to duty, Captain Donnelly reflected great credit upon himself and upheld the highest traditions of the United States Naval Service. Ladies and gentlemen, our Command Master Chief, Master Chief Timpa, will now present Captain Donnelly with the ship's pennant. Please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, the commanding officer of USS Ronald Reagan, Captain Michael P. Donnelly.
Admiral, commanders, captain, commanding officers, and most of all, crew of USS Ronald Reagan. Good morning, Hannifin. It's amazing how fast that I've come upon this day after nearly 30 years in the Navy. As a midshipman, I only wanted to fly F-14, so commanding a nuclear-powered aircraft carrier was way beyond the top of my list. In numerous ways, I've been very blessed and fortunate. First, like many of us, with the outstanding support of my family. My parents, my wife Caroline's parents, who provide consistent motivation and support, particularly in helping to support our daughters while they are in school back in the United States. Despite my daughters' own big transitions in their own lives, 3 of them have started going off to college and even graduating from school. They have excelled and enjoyed the adventure that we have had in coming to Japan and USS Ronald Reagan. I'm proud of them as Sarah and Mary Logan continue their studies in college. My oldest daughter, Ellie, commences her career as a junior officer with her cutter in the U.S. Coast Guard up in Alaska. And Maggie, the youngest of 4, is now the focus of my wife's undivided attention back in Japan, finishing up high school, all flourishing. But like the Admiral said, my deepest gratitude goes to my wife, Caroline. She has been my greatest supporter, and as everybody knows who has met her, she is the best part of the package. Her warm optimism, energy, and love of life are contagious. And like any Navy spouse, she is the foundation of our family, providing the momentum through the challenges and finding opportunity where others see only sacrifice. I cannot thank her and my daughters enough for their patience, positive attitudes, their resilience as we followed the road of opportunities that has me here today. Our families keep us grounded, motivated, and true. They're resilient, and they're extremely proud of the tremendous work that all of you do as sailors out here on USS Ronald Reagan. Vital to our connection with them are the incredible ombudsman team that we have with USS Ronald Reagan. Heather Hamilton, Maria Dumoulin, Imelda Scullin, and our newest members, Antonio Almagar, Monica McGinnis, and Marisol Vences. Their selfless and tireless support of our families has been essential to our success. It has been my tremendous fortune to have worked with 4 Carrier Strike Group commanders as the commanding officer of USS Ronald Reagan. Each has provided a different perspective into the challenges of leading the Navy's most active and employed task force and Carrier Strike Group. Admiral Thomas you are definitely the right leader at the right time. There is no question about the trail you are blazing for our proficiency and required capability, because you are holding the torch and the fire is lit. It is motivating to see where this team is headed under your leadership. You have an outstanding and obvious recognition for the hard work that our crews put forth day in and day out to keep us on point. Thank you for your leadership, your guidance, and your mentorship, and best of luck leading Battle Force 7th Fleet and Carrier Strike Group 5 with Ronald Reagan into the future. I could not have scripted a better stage to step out from this tour than to do it here at sea. Having the opportunity to have operated through the exercise of the last week and truly see us at the cusp of the integrated capability and the outstanding presence and responsibility and response that this strike group team can bring. It has been a true pleasure to work with the professionals that lead our success and accomplishment. Drew, Gump, John, our cruiser COs, George, Bo, and Mark, as well as Boz and Ping. The support and common sense of mission and what do we need to improve and ensure that we win attitude is refreshing amongst commanders that deal with the reality of very dynamic schedules and they're constrained incredibly by the resources available. Despite our technology and our operational process, it's the relationships that matter, and it has been great to be part of a group that relates so well. Best of luck to you as you continue to lead this strike group and demonstrating the credible capability that is the cornerstone of forward deployed naval forces purpose. I enjoyed working with you and through the numerous challenges we have faced and opportunities that we have shared over the past months. Over almost 30 years, I've had the fortunate opportunity to work with the best chiefs in the Navy, but none have worked better than the team here in USS Ronald Reagan's Chiefs Mess. As a crew, we have been the beneficiaries of the best Command Master Chiefs in the fleet, with Command Master Chief Hurricane Haka and now Command Master Chief Typhoon Timpa. The command guidance, ability, not only to tell it like it is, but to also constantly provide a course to handle any situation is astounding. Master Chiefs Haka and Timpa, I cannot thank each of you enough for your leadership, your commitment to the crew, and for your ability to tackle any situation with the full brunt of the mess, or just tactfully or bluntly, restore and re-steer my attention to where it is necessary. USS Ronald Reagan and I personally have greatly benefited from your expertise, your wisdom, your patience, and your energy. Recognizing my inherent weaknesses, the U.S. Navy has been wise enough also to prop me with the best executive officers in the fleet, from Chopper Crozier to Paulie Lanzalata, and now Krusty Pollard. They've each brought unique perspective and leadership style that has continued to take USS Ronald Reagan forward to the next level. Krusty, you have a tireless optimism, and you're relentless in your support of our sailors and their ability to accomplish the mission and to get their men overboard time down. I have truly enjoyed the opportunity to work with you. In only a short time, I have learned volumes about watching your respect for people and the effect that you have on them and how effective your leadership style is. I look forward to seeing you in the future with your successes both on USS Ronald Reagan and as you move on as a leader in naval aviation. Thank you for everything you and Jen have done for this crew. But to the crew of USS Ronald Reagan, you should be rightfully proud of the tremendous accomplishments and vital role that you have played in supporting our national strategy, providing credible, agile military capability to ensure stability and security in the most vital economic and socially diverse region in the world. The nation, the Navy, and I have asked a tremendous amount of you in your service, and you exceed in every endeavor. The accomplishments and the merits are extensive and demonstrate the span and the scope of capability and professionalism on the water, in the air, and ashore that you provide as our nation's forward deployed force. From international and Navy service awards to fleet-recognized departmental combat efficiency awards, safety and maintenance awards, the accomplishments are tremendous and numerous. We have had mission area excellence and individual standouts that underscore the real nature and impact of our operations in 7th Fleet, where theory meets practice, and it is game on as soon as we shift colors. But past results do not guarantee future success. It is knowing your job, knowing yourself, and knowing your equipment, and the trust and confidence that you have in one another as a team to meet any challenge that makes you, with Carrier Air Wing 5, the most capable fighting force in the fleet and the force to be reckoned with in this area of operations. You have the trust of our allies and of our nation, and that's a heady responsibility. I'm tremendously impressed with your drive and your professionalism. You have chosen a service that recognizes and requires sacrifice and commitment. I turn over command to Captain Pat Hannifin with the utmost confidence that you will continue to exceed as the cornerstone capability of 7th Fleet. Finn, welcome to you and grace, and congratulations on taking over the finest ship and the finest crew in the United States Navy. I wish you the best of luck. USS Ronald Reagan is getting a real upgrade with your presence. Ronald Reagan's officers and crew are without peer, and with your leadership, there is no bound to the innovation, accomplishment, and effect that you will have in supporting our nation in the critical role as America's only forward-deployed aircraft carrier. Shipmates of Carrier Strike Group 5, the Freedom Badman team, and most of all, officers and crew of USS Ronald Reagan, it has been my great honor to have had the fantastic opportunity to sail and work alongside you. I wish you nothing but luck, cresters into the 2-wire, and fair winds and following seas. Be bold, be confident, and be ready to fight and win. I will now read my orders. From Deputy Chief of Naval Personnel, Subject, Bupers Orders 0998. Change of duty orders for Captain Michael P. Donnelly, when directed by Reporting Senior, detached in September 2018 from USS Ronald Reagan as commanding officer, and report no later than October 2018 to Commander 7th Fleet for duty in a flying status not involving flying. Captain Hannifin, I am ready to be relieved.
From Deputy Chief of Naval Personnel, Subject, Bupers Order Number 0248, change of duty orders for Captain Patrick J. Hannifin, United States Navy. When directed by Reporting Senior, report not later than September 2018 to USS Ronald Reagan as his relief.
Ladies and gentlemen, the commanding officer of USS Ronald Reagan, Captain Patrick J. Hannifin.
Please have a seat.
Ronald Reagan, at ease.
Shake that out. All right. So, as my wife and I are stepping off the plane at Haneda last month, after departing a CAG 5 tour, as was mentioned a full 20 years ago, I asked if she'd ever, in her wildest dreams, think we'd be back here for Carrier Command. She just turned to me and said, "Honey, You aren't in my wildest dreams. Not quite what I expected. Admiral, Kaz, warfare commanders, fellow captains, and commanding officers, and most of all, men and women of Reagan and the Reagan Strike Group. Thank you for support this morning. Sandwiched between high-end training events in the middle of the Pacific, destroyer in the background, poised for humanitarian assistance, for potential disaster relief, sharpening the tip of the spear, what better setting could there be to remind us what we're really here for? Seaman McClellan, you absolutely completed the scene with that stunning rendition of our national anthem. Truly moving. Wow. All right, if you'll indulge me, I'd like to address a few folks before we get back to the business of a carrier at sea. First, I must acknowledge a few heroes in my life who are not here with us today. I would not be who or where I am without them. To Grace, you are simply my rock, my best friend and biggest fan. Your love and support is the wind in my sails. I'm forever yours. Justin, Sean, and Kelsey, I am both proud and thankful for the young men and women that you've become. Though not by choice, thank you for lending your father to the nation. I know it did not come without pain for all of us. To my mother and father, you taught unconditional love, character, and right by example my whole life, and introduced this naval calling. I can never repay my debt to you both. Buzz, I've never met you before coming here, and yet I'm addressing you right in there with my family. Read nothing into that. We're not that close. In all seriousness, I've been fortunate to follow some great leaders and join some amazing teams, but I have never stepped into one running this well. You can feel the pride and character in the crew and across the ship. Yes, we'll meet and overcome many challenges in the months and years that follow, just as you did, but Reagan clearly has all cylinders firing. I know you've got an impressive team behind you to do that, and I'm glad you're passing them on to me. I'm impressed and humbled to be following in your shoes. Thank you. To the men and women of Reagan and the family and friends in Japan and across the U.S. who support you, you are the finest America has to offer. Every one of you, for your own personal reasons, raised your right hand and volunteered to serve. You wear the cloth of our nation and deserve and earned my personal and professional respect for that sacrifice the moment that you did it. Now take a quick moment to look to your left, right, and behind you. So did they, every one of them. Every man and woman in this hangar, every patriot on this ship, volunteered to stand beside you in battle. Whether straight out of A school or grizzled from decades, there's no greater promise, no greater trust. You and I are honored to serve among them. I look forward to maintaining, training, and if necessary, fighting alongside each of you. To our allies and adversaries, choose wisely. Reagan continues the watch. We will engage our nation's allies with enthusiasm and passion, knowing full well we are stronger together than we are apart. And we will unflinchingly engage any adversary with equal enthusiasm and passion. Admiral, Reagan's sailors are fit and her systems are sound. As our nation's most visible symbol of resolve and lethal instrument of war, Reagan will promote peace through strength across the Indo-Pacific region with her Badman and Strike Group partners. And should deterrence fail, be ready to crush any adversary in her path. Reagan is and will always remain poised to fight and win in combat. XO, take charge and carry out the plan of the day.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the benediction and departure of the official party. Chaplain Bowden will now offer the benediction.
Let us pray. Eternal Father, strong to save, we give thanks for this opportunity to transfer leadership and recognize stellar service. We remember your words from Isaiah, when you pass through the waters, I will be with you, for I am the Lord your God. Make us mindful of your strength, enabling our warrior spirits, your protection keeping us safe, your discernment to accomplish our goals while displaying your character, and grant us conviction to be of good courage as we look to you, our compass and guide. We humbly pray. Amen.
Bosun, post the side boys and stand by to pipe the side. Battle Force, 7th Fleet, departing. Captain, United States Navy, departing. Ronald Reagan, departing. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the change of command ceremony. All guests are cordially invited to attend a reception in the aft mess decks.